Kurt returns to the pack, to the village, whatever, just in time to participate in the discussion about joining Max's army in order to have the curse removed. Kurt eliminates Red and brings back the proof in the form of her riding hood to Violet, and then he mentions mentions the talk of eliminating the curse. Kurt reluctantly agrees and heads back to the village. Plot point 2. Kurt manages to confront... I don't know if he steals or if he confronts it. He's more likely to steal. Kurt pretends to finally decide to agree with Rottweiler, and when he's not looking, that'd be kind of gruesome, so I'm gonna have to use something like he knocks him over the head or something. Knocks him out with a spear handle. He then grabs the totem of leadership and returns to Violet. Let's see something here. I need to check something. Climax. Violet casts a spell on Kurt with the totem. While holding the totem of leadership. Violet then hands the totem back and doesn't tell him that the totem bounds him and his wolves to her. Resolution. Kurt comes back and claims leadership along with the... Kurt comes back and claims leadership with totem in hand and tells them that they're going to remain this way in enhanced form. I guess he can just come back and claim leadership. That's good. Actually, I like that. That's good. I don't know. There might be too many words here in the midpoint, but it's still the one thing. He brings back the hood of Red, and then he asks her if she can up his powers, and she agrees, and then says he must bring back the totem of leadership. Kurt doesn't really want to do that because it's a symbol of their leadership, and it shouldn't be out of their hands or their eyes for any second. But he does it because his want for power is more than any qualms he had about turning over the totem. But to his surprise, she doesn't actually keep the totem. She gives it back to him. A little realizing what he did was he gave her control when she performed the spell. She casts a spell, and then he changes, and then hands it back, and then he comes back, and he becomes leader of the werewolf pack. They all decide to go ahead and join Max's army anyway. Okay, so what I got done today is mostly I was talking with ChatGPT about how many screens are in a typical adventure game and a text adventure, and that averaging about 120 in a graphic adventure, maybe a little bit less for text adventures. And then I was talking about rebalancing the act structure since there wasn't that many things in Act 3. It was only like 30 lines, which is about 60 double-spaced, whereas there were at least 100 double-spaced in Act 1. And there was almost 300 double-spaced almost 200 double-spaced. Wait a second. 100 to 300 is 200. So 200, so Act 3 and 2 are about where they're supposed to be, and Act 3 was less. It was 60. After looking at Red and Kurt's stories, I decided to put them starting in Act 3, and this kind of elevated Act 3's length to be about right. Now, there isn't a lot of interplay. All of this up here is just about Kurt and... Let me see. It's just about Kurt and Red. So that's kind of an important thing. I didn't necessarily get all their backstories in there, but I did get their main stories in there. And so I still have to work on, while I don't necessarily need to add more to pad on to Act 3, I'm going to add some more battle things to Act 3. And then I'm going to try to see if I can shift some stuff around to put some of this other stuff back in Act 1 and 2. And then we can see where we go from there, and then I can streamline and stuff. So I did get a few things done. Here's what I added specifically to Act 3. Max finds out that John and Roland and most of the slaves were rescued by Hubert, which is what was already there. Max pulls Scarlet Red Clover out of hiding and asks her to go and conscript the werewolves into his service. Red tells the werewolves led by Rottweiler that they might be rid of their curse so they join Max's army. Kurt, Rottweiler's second in command, goes to meet with Violet after remembering their rivalry. She agrees to help him with the leader of the pack if Kurt eliminates Red. The werewolves tell Red they want proof and goes and gets Max, who probably gets rid of the curse for a few of them. The werewolves led by Rottweiler throw Red into a hut in disgust. Kurt comes back to discuss the possibility of joining Max's army after he debate agrees. After they bring Red out, she goes back to Max with a positive answer as Kurt and several others audibly dissent. On our way back to the werewolf village, Kurt jumps out of the bushes and then tumbles back into the forest. Kurt then takes Red's riding hood back to Violet. Kurt then reveals Red was promising to remove their curses, and that he didn't want that. He asks Violet to enhance it. Violet agrees if he steals the totem of leadership and brings it to her because she claims it will bind the pack to him. When he gets back, he goes into Rottweiler's hut and starts to grab the totem. Thorin, Rottweiler's third in command, stops Kurt from getting the totem. After a fight, Kurt takes the totem back to Violet, and she casts a spell which visibly alters Kurt and his pack. Kurt returns to the village and takes his place as the leader. And of course, they're going to decide to go ahead and join Max's army anyways, but they're not going to have the curse removed from him, basically. So that's pretty much all I did today. I did get some things done, made some progress. It's slow progress, but it's still progress.